our estimation, he has become desperate. Subsequently, one of the persons in the videos that he have, and I want you to listen to this, approached the government. And one of the things that was said to me and to the government was if we wanted this to go away, we need to pay 40 to 100 million US dollars in my office.
Prime Minister Drew said that my podcast was an act of desperation. Prime Minister Drew, I'm a chess player. I make move to create reaction.
This gentleman has paid surrogates within the media, podcasts, all over. He does not care about the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. As is obvious, he cares about himself and what he perceives he can get. Because the question becomes, if you care about St. Kitts and Nevis, why are you attempting to extort tens of millions of US dollars from the people of St. Kitts and Nevis?
Mr. Benta was the guest that you have all the time on your show, was the former chief of police of forget the U.S. Virgin Islands, right? Flies to St. Kitts with the president of my company, okay? Because he said that we're going to meet with Douglas and with the prime minister. Now, what I didn't know, Mr. Mauricio, and please do me a favor, tell your audience, what I didn't know, okay, that I found out after the fact, is that you actually went into the meeting with Mr. Benta, with the Attorney General and the Prime Minister, and that my representative have never met the Prime Minister or the Attorney General, right? And we called you after, because I found out about that after the fact, which again, I'm protected by the Lord, by God, right? And I called you and I said, Mr. Mauricio, did Mr. Benta try to say that he was representing MSR? What did you tell me? You said no.
The answer to that question was no.
Absolutely.
And the reality of that whole situation, based on the information that is out in the general public now, Mr. Martinez,
yeah,
I was really trying to save the Prime Minister and the country this pain that we are feeling right now. The idea was to try and resolve this matter quietly.
And Mr. Mauricio, the only reason I came to your show today as a guest is because I'm protected. I'm in the United States. I'm collaborating on this investigation by providing evidence every week. But you, sir, you're over there. You are a supporter of Prime Minister Drew, okay? And for you to have the integrity to say, Mr. Martinez, which is, I ask you, I said, did Mr. Benta ever ask or any demand? And you say no. And I said, why did the Prime Minister then went to a press conference and lied? What did you tell me? Please confirm. You say, I don't know.
I don't have a clue.
Exactly. So can you imagine that because I've exposed the fact, right? It's important for your audience to know that. Huh? Because I've exposed an international network of 50 fraudsters, okay, that has defrauded your country, that has defrauded St. Lucia, that has defrauded other Caribbean nations on your passport money. And those people, they got the bread, they got the meat, they got the dressing, and they left you the crumbs, okay? Suddenly, fake extortion are made. I'm sorry. My wife and my children saw the video of the Prime Minister saying a lie in front of the people. Now, God in his infinite greatness, has protected me by having an American citizen, you, Mr. Mauricio, in the meeting, and I didn't know about it. Okay? And when I found out about it, you confirmed that it was not true. So what is the panic here? Why? I mean, can you imagine if I was against the prime minister? I mean, what I could do legally for him to lie to his country that we tried to extort him when you were there. And again, you know, I'm a religious person, Mr. Mauricio. It's God protecting me. I had no idea. I've never met you, but of course, as you know, I gave your number and your contact to the federal agents. But why? Why is it that all that cannot be resolved? Everybody knows the truth. Everybody knows that the Chinese sold the passport. Why can't we work together to get the money back from the applicants? Because Galaxy will never give a dime back to the country. Okay, the processing agent, you know, that have exposed some of them, right? The one that made $3,000 per application, they're never going to pay back the country. We know that.
So that we're clear for those that are listening, this conversation is pretty much surrounding what the government of St. Kitts and Nevis came public and mentioned. Besides, but I think more so that the Prime Minister and his Attorney General, where the number discussion actually was preempted by the Attorney General of St. Kitts and Nevis, Gaff Wilkins.
That's interesting.
Gaff Wilkins, while speaking to the Prime Minister and other matters, Gaff Wilkins in the meeting started in more than one occasion prompting and asking, based on what's been filed in the courts by MSR and within the U.S. Department of Justice, America-wise, what is the ask? My response to him what is the ask? And I said to him, enumeration as far as what he was trying to explain. I said, based on what I have read, more so, this is what it may be in a litigation of any sort. What's a fix? What would be? It would be this.
Yeah.
And with that, the Prime Minister himself began to invoke in his own mind what he wanted to input, forgetting about that the purpose of me being there was to bring the governor of St. Kitts and Nevis together with the representative of MSR who was waiting somewhere else for a call for them.
At the lawyer office. But it's unbelievable that they would make such a claim when the government is not sued in the RICO case. Correct. So it's almost like, in a way, that they tricked you to try to create a story.
Well, they tricked themselves.
Yes.
Because they didn't know who they were sitting with. And they didn't realize that the other person in the room as well, who was one of the individuals, as you know, who got
Mr. Mauricio,
speak, didn't realize that what was being said and then presented in public would come back to haunt them. Yeah. And not realizing my history, as you look at